Now this one might be the rarest car out here, I think. Headed back into this field to check out some classic cars. They say there's one out here that's pretty rare. F350 there. Nope, F250. That's a 67. Split rim wheels. Wow, four-wheel drive. Wasn't too much to get excited about till see the front hubs. Grill guard's cool. That's really a decent truck. Wow, here is the 77 through 79 Bonneville tree victim. Wow, that poor thing is pretty smashed up. Wasn't probably a bad car when it was put here. Now it'd just be parts car or derby car. There's another F250. Let's see what. Ooh, looks like four-wheel drive. I'd have to cross fence to know for sure. Out here, more agricultural parts and pieces laying about. There is an old wrecked, about an 80 through 84, holds 98. They actually switched to the front wheel drive platform in 85, so the flagship model got downsized first. That one's probably not got a lot of good of anything too much left in it. Body interior all shot, a few parts here and there, be about it. This back window trim I sell fairly reliably. That's for a slick roof without the vinyl top. It's probably not the way most of them were built. That was a shame, rust-free car. That got hit hard enough it probably munched a lot of the mechanical stuff to the point of not being usable any longer. Oh wow, 67 Newport presumably, four-door hardtop. I was warned there's bumblebees out here. Full vinyl top, kind of plain cloth seats. Yeah, Newport custom. Looks like power window car. There's the emblem. Yep, Newport custom. That's probably a 383 two-barrel. If that was a New Yorker, 67 is one of the most desirable 440s. 68 C30. Has the side marker lights and the big back window. I bought almost this exact same truck, except it was a C20. White and feed mixer, everything just like it. Here's a early 80s C30 utility bed. Then we've got the Pink International, as well as the red KB6. Ooh, I'm a little nervous here about these bees, but I'm kind of moving along. We've got a 72 Electra 225. Probably sat long enough, it'd be parts car. Hate to see stuff like this derby just because it's a cool old two-door. About the same spec as the Olds 98 out there, two-tone, painted top. I didn't know that was really much of a popular thing, but here's two of them out here. Now over in Yates Center, there was a Buick and Pontiac dealership that was Cantrell. So, unfortunately no longer survives. Building was bought, torn down. They were going to do something different in it. Never did. It's a piece of history lost. Sort of ratty in here, but not beyond what you could maybe make a beater out of. Is it worth it financially? No. Would it be cool? Yes. And then we've got the 1950 Ford Woody Wagon. Now this one might be the rarest car out here, I think. Rebuildable, but would it be worth it? You know, the market value on these is kind of taking a dive. And as always, much cheaper in the long run just to buy one done. A lot of this stuff is specific to this car, even the dashboard's different. So it would part out probably pretty good to the few people around that are restoring them. And we've got the 68 970 GMC, and then Ford parts truck that's wrecked. Looks like that's also a 67. Got the front emblems without the reflectors and the skinny side trim. Strictly parts. Circle out and catch one more. This is about a 77, 8, 9-ish automatic GMC Sierra Classic, 4-wheel drive. Yep, that's got the big lug nuts. I know on the Fords that means single wheel 1 ton. Possibly on a GMC could also. Square headlight, that's an 80. Okay. Now, the obvious answer to the question would be the 1950 Ford Woody wagon. These cars are definitely not around every corner, and I have to say, it's the first one that I've ever personally shown in one of these videos. But is it the rarest car in this field? For simplicity, I excluded the Olds 98 and the Bonneville, and we're just considering the vehicles here, which are older than 50 years old. Nearly 48,000 of these electric coupes were built in 1972. Although the Custom and the Limited were cataloged as two separate models, differences were negligible, mostly consisting of upholstery fabric options. So, if you're considering rarity based on the two-door hardtop body shell overall, this car is not the rarest. However, if you're breaking it down to trim level, this custom coupe, at less than 10,000 units produced, is by far the rarest car in this field. But what about the 1967 Chrysler Newport four-door hardtop? A hair over 26,000 four-door hardtop Newports were built, which puts it as a rarer car than the Ford Woody wagon. Of those, less than half were Newport Customs, like the one you're looking at here. If you factor in this car being optioned with power windows, it puts it even rarer, especially considering that most of the vehicles optioned that way would have been the more upmarket New Yorkers and 300s. But to break this down further is beyond the scope of the research materials which I have access to. With basic armchair math, we can infer that it would have been less than 4,000. Up to this point, the discussion has been rarity of production. But what about rarity of attrition? The remaining numbers of these cars have been reduced by factors such as age, time, decay, and mechanical failure. All those take a toll. The potential of wood bodies to rot and decay only means there would be a further target painted on a car such as this for early retirement. Additionally, this car had a 17-year head start on the Chrysler and a 21-year head start on the Buick. It's nearly impossible to calculate how many of each still survive today. So which of these is actually the rarer car? Do your math, compare it to mine, and argue why you think that's right down in the comments. And we'll see you on the next video.